There are a couple of quick ways to access the settings for your Google Calendars. You can click the Settings menu icon, then Settings, and scroll down in the navigation panel to click on the calendar you want to edit. Or you can scroll down in your calendar list, mouse over the calendar you want to edit, click the triple dots, and then click Settings and Sharing from there. There are several settings you can alter here, but I'm just going to focus on a few that I think are the most important. So up at the top, you can change the calendar name. And if you scroll down a little ways, you'll find access permissions for events. And this is super important if you want to share your calendar with other people or if you want to protect private information. So let's say this is a Google Classroom calendar and I want parents to be able to view it. I'm going to check this box to make the calendar public, and this warning will always show up before that setting takes effect. And then I'm going to make sure they can see all of the event details. But if this wasn't a classroom calendar, if instead this was a calendar that was one where I wanted to protect some of the information, I might choose to only make it available to people in the domain, and I might choose to edit what details I show them. So I can show them only when I'm free or busy instead of showing them all of the event details. If you don't want to share the calendar with anyone except people you specifically invite to that calendar, you can go ahead and uncheck both of those boxes. If you want to share your calendar with people so that they can add it to their own calendar, you'll need to make sure that it's either public or available within the domain, depending on who you're sharing it with, and then go ahead and grab a shareable link. If you want to share your calendar just with specific people, you can go ahead and add them here. Now, this is a classroom calendar, so you see it's already includes anyone who's invited to that classroom. Now, one quick note, if this was a personal calendar, if this was the calendar that was paired directly with your account, then you would see a third option here, and that's to show your calendar info in other Google apps like Gmail. And that's actually a really useful setting, so you might want to consider leaving that checked. So if we scroll down a little further, you'll see here we can set event notifications both for timed events and all day events. And those notifications can be traditional pop-up notifications, or you can set them to be emails. And if you scroll down a little further, this daily agenda, you can choose to be emailed each morning a list of all of your events for that day. And that can also be super helpful, especially for students who maybe want a listing of all the events that are in a particular Google Classroom. Now, if you no longer want to see a calendar, and this is really helpful for all of those classroom calendars, you can choose to either unsubscribe or delete. So the big difference between them is if you unsubscribe from a calendar, you no longer see it, but it is available for anyone else who had access. If you delete the calendar, it's gone for you and everyone else. So unless you own it and you're certain that no one else needs access to it, you might want to choose to unsubscribe instead of delete. Once you're done customizing your settings, you'll go ahead and click this back button here. It'll bring you back to your calendar view, and it'll automatically save all of your changes.